What is the choice of this target group? It is nothing but identifying the data for our study. The first step in your project, the research process, what you have to follow is identifying a problem on an area of study. What and all information you have taken from various sources that has to be mentioned in this project, that is section bibliography. Hello everybody, I'm Divya, lecturing Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all for today's session on your chapter 8, that is use of statistical tool. So once again, I welcome you all for the session 1 on your chapter use of statistical tools. So this is a last and the important chapter for you people that is put in your syllabus, that is your statistics for economics. So the topic for today's discussion, introduction, step towards making a project, sample project, questionnaire, sample questionnaire, how to make questions, model questionnaire questions that I have put into the slide so that it will be very easy for you all to understand about the questionnaire. So in the last class we have discussed about index number. So whatever the chapters that we have so far discussed is all about the different tools and techniques of statistics. So in today's class, let us understand how to take up a project. So today the country is developing, the country is using lot of technology, IT is there, so there is lot of inventions that is happening. So what is the reason? What is the research behind that? So it is all about the research. It is all about the project. So the researcher will try to figure out the question and try to get out the result from those questions. So what is that research is all about? So what is a project? So everything that we will discuss in today's class. Moving forward, so let us understand what is a project is all about. So project is nothing but a research. The word itself says research. So the information what you want, you keep on searching the information on that particular topic in order to find out the solution to the question. Suppose you wanted to launch a new product in a market. So you need information. What information? So who are the consumer? What are the customers' taste and preferences? What is the movable product? What the customers are disliking? So all those information is very essential for you people to understand why the product is important and what kind of product we need to bring into the market. So to develop new things, to develop new innovations, so we need information, we need the answers to the questions that arises in our mind. So for all those things, we have a technique called in statistics, that is your research. In that research, so research and statistics go hand in hand because it is very important. So whatever the steps we have learned, whatever the chapter wise we have learned, so all those things you will see in this unit. So it is all about what? It is all about understanding what is research is all about. Research is nothing but getting the information, searching the information again and again. So let us understand. So these tools are important for us in our daily life to take up the daily life activities, that is production, consumption, distribution, your banking, insurance, transportation, communication. For all things, the statistical tools are very essential and you need to understand those important tools and techniques. So far in all the chapters we have discussed about what are the different tools and techniques. So in today's class, so let us understand what is this project is all about. So if you study this chapter, you will be able to understand the steps that is required to design a project, how can you take up the research, and how to prepare a questionnaire. Why questionnaire is important? Because if you go to a mass audience and ask the information, they don't provide you the information. Why? Because information is not easily available. So they refuse to answer the questions that you people ask. So that is why questionnaire is a tool, technique that is used in statistics in research in order to avail the information from the mass audience. So you might have observed, if you go in front of mall, so they provide you the questionnaire. If you go for an exhibition, they will provide you the questionnaire. For example, if you use in a YouTube channel while watching your favorite things in your YouTube channel, so there will be the survey. You just skip survey. So what are those? Those are nothing but the questionnaire that is designed for you people to avail the information. So in this chapter, you will understand what are the different steps to be followed to design a project, to understand the questions, how to avail the information, and how to provide that answer. So this answer will be generalized to the entire public, entire nation in order to take up the decisions. So in this chapter, you will learn the method of developing a project. So what is a project? Project is nothing but you can take it up as a research. You're getting a new things. You're understanding a information. You're finding the answer, solution to the problem that is there in your mind. So that is all about a project. So this will help in understanding how statistical tools and method can be used for various types of analysis. So far we have discussed about presentation of data, collection of data, a measure of central tendency, correlation, index number. So all these are the different tools of statistics that we have used. So why we have used? In order to analyze and present in a better manner, in a meaningful manner, so that the conclusion can be drawn with a beautiful way. Moving forward, let us understand an example. So why is this important for you all to understand the steps to design a project? So some questions will arise in your mind. So you want to launch a new product, or you want to buy a new mobile phone. So nowadays students, they themselves research for everything and they get the information better than everybody. So why is that? Because of the research. So they try to understand, they try to know about that again and again. So we have an example here. So you may have to collect information about a product on a consumer, their consumption pattern, or about a new product or services to be launched in a market by producer, or you need to analyze the spread of information technology in school, so on. So developing a project by conducting a survey. So what is the survey? So by using a questionnaire, so you distribute those questionnaire to the mass audience, and then the audience will fill up the questionnaire, and with the available information you try to draw inferences. So that is your survey. So while conducting the survey, you will design a project and you will take up that in order to conclude the answer to the questions that is there in your mind, and preparing a report. So what you will prepare at the end, you prepare a report on that. So what all the detailed analysis we have done, so that will be included. So let us, without wasting our time, let us now understand what are the different steps to be followed for developing a project. Moving forward, step towards making a project. The first step is what? Identifying a problem or an area of study. What is the problem that is there? What is the area that we have to address? So whether we are looking for consumption pattern or distribution pattern, or we are looking for production pattern, which area we need to focus on. Suppose in your area there is a scarcity of water. So what you have to focus, what is the problem in your area? That is scarcity of water. So you need to research on that. You need to make a questionnaire and distribute those questionnaire, conduct a survey in your locality. So your neighbors, take up the the information and try to draw the conclusion why there is scarcity of water in your area. So that is a project. The first step in your project, the research process, what you have to follow is identifying a problem on an area of study. Moving forward, choice of target group. So let us study the steps one by one. So before that, I will tell you what are the steps we have, how many steps that is there in the process that has to be discussed. So collection of data is the third step. Fourth step is organization, presentation of data, analysis and interpretation of the data, conclusion and bibliography. So this is the steps that has to be followed while taking up the research or you're designing a project. So it is also called as research process. So in your higher education, research methodology is a subject that will be there for you. In that subject, you will study this paper as research methodology, and these are the steps of research process. To conduct any research, all these other steps to be followed by one. So that is why it is a systematic process. Moving forward, so let us understand each step in detail. So identifying the problem of an area. At the outset, you should be clear about what you wanted to study, what you wanted to know on the basis of your objective. So I will take up one example. The example is COVID. So we need to figure out what is the reason behind COVID and how can we solve the COVID virus. So what kind of medicines that we have to invent. So our objective will be what now? Our objective will be curing the COVID, that is virus that is there, by inventing the medicine. So that is our objective. So the problem of area, what is the problem of area? It is nothing but the COVID virus that has to be cured among the people. We have to decrease the death rate. So we are identifying a problem in an area. So that based on that, we have to select the target group. So what is the choice of this target group? It is nothing but identifying the data for our study. For example, we want to look at what is the thing that is happening in Bangalore and what is the COVID status that is there in Mysuru. So we are considering two districts. So what is the target audience for us? Population residing in Bangalore and population who are living in Mysuru. So those two are the target group of people for us to conduct the research. So second step is what? You have to identify the target group, choice of target group for what the study has to be made. So the choice or the identification of the target group is important for framing the appropriate questions for them. So what they have to do? So in order to design and take up the information, proper information, apt and accurate information, so the questions has to be predetermined. So how do you predetermine? When you know about the persons, when you know about that particular target group, then only you can frame the questions easily. So for framing those questions, you need to identify the target group of audience. Moving forward, the next step is collection of data. So whether to collect the primary data and or the secondary data. So what is the primary data? The data which is collected for the first time. So in the chapter 3, that is your collection of data, that we have discussed about the collection of data in detail. So kindly go back to my previous class and check out the collection of data chapter. So in that in detail I have explained about the collection of data. So secondary data which is collected for the second time, which has already been there. So when you have scarcity of time, when you have resources that is less with you, and then you can go for your secondary sources of data. So data which is collected for the first time, primary data. So primary data, the sources of primary data might be the questionnaire. You can avail the information through various interview, face-to-face interview, telephone interview, through different methods, through survey, conducting a survey, focus group. All those are the sources of primary data. When it comes to the sources of secondary data, it is the newspaper, journals and the magazines, the already been data that you are using, and that is very important. So what is the third step in your designing the project, or when you take up the research process? It is nothing but your collection of data. So once you select your target group of people, so we are taking up Mysuru and Bengaluru location for our study, and if we are studying that, definitely we are taking up which kind of data? Already been collected data, because the sample size, depending upon the sample size, depending upon the resources that is there with us, we need to select the data, primary data or secondary data. Moving forward, the fourth step is organization and presentation of data. So once you collect the data will be in raw form, that has to be organized, put in a order and a systematic manner, and it has to be presented in a tabular form or in a pie chart or in a bar graph, so that with the help of the diagrammatic representation or a textual representation or tabular representation, so it will be easy for the further statistical calculation. So once you take up the data, put it in a table form or in a bar graph or in a pie chart, present in a beautiful and a comprehensive manner, so for the further statistical analysis. So that is the fourth step that has to be followed in a research project. Fifth step is analysis and interpretation. So once the data has been arranged in a systematic order and it is planned according to the systematic way, then that has to be interpreted and analyzed properly. What is the relationship that we have, and what is the existence of that variable? So we will understand through measure of central tendency. We will take up the average. So mass data will be reduced to a single value, and based on that single value, they will understand the entire representation. So that is your measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion. We have discussed about the correlation, we have discussed about the quartile, so all index number. So all these are the statistical tools. In those statistical tools, you analyze and interpret those data. So once you interpret those data, you will understand what is the relationship we have, what is the average of that particular number, what is the relationship that exists between the variables, so what is the changes that is there. So all those things will be known to you people. So once the presentation of data is done, the next following step is what? Analysis and interpretation. So once you analyze and interpret, you will have one picture in your mind. So when you will have a clarity of that particular problem. So what you do? You conclude it. So by putting it in a report. So that is your research report or a project report. So whatever the study you have done, so that will be written in your conclusion part. So beginning what you started with, and at the end what you are concluding, it will be included in your conclusion part. So where you, whatever the information that you have availed regarding the project, that will be included in your conclusion part. The last step will be to draw the meaningful conclusion regarding the results what you wanted to put into. So that is your conclusion. Moving forward, the last step in your research project, that is your bibliography. So what is this bibliography? It is nothing but the references. So from where the sources have been taken for our project study, from where and all we have taken the information. For example, for COVID, we have referred the various websites. So different websites, we have Googled it, we have different website, ResearchGate, we have taken from Samshodhana. So all these are the different websites that we go in a Google Scholar and we take up the information from that sources. So in this bibliography reference section, you will show the references that you have taken for your research study. So that is important to know, because this reference will act as a literature review for the next research project. So that is why reference, that is bibliography, is important. So in this section, you need to mention the details of the secondary sources. So from where and all you have taken the information: magazines, newspaper, research report, then used for the development of the project. So what and all information you have taken from various sources, that has to be mentioned in this project, that is section bibliography. Moving forward, so let us understand. So this is a sample project for you people. So kindly take up those sample project as an assignment from me and do a research report on that and tell me your conclusion part, your report part to me through the comment section. So prepare a report on polio immunization program in a particular area. So what do you mean by this? It is nothing but, considering for your study all the individuals in a society. So you are considering all the individuals in a society and then taking up the information from them. So that is what they are saying here. What is the project that you have? You are a bank officer and want to survey the saving habit of people by taking into consideration their income and expenditure of the people. Prepare a report. So you have to assume yourself that you are a bank manager and you wanted to know the saving pattern that is there in that particular branch. For example, you are living in a XYZ area. In that particular area you have a branch, and what is the saving pattern of the people who are residing in that particular area? So what is the savings that they have? What you have to do? You have to design a questionnaire. So whoever comes to your bank, you have to distribute their questionnaire, whether they are using savings account, current account or recurring deposit. What is their income, monthly income, annual income? So you have to design the question, and from that you will get the information. So how many customers in your bank, they are depositing their savings? What is the saving pattern they are doing? What is the thing that you will get to know? So with the help of that you can design a report. So one more project we have here. Suppose you are a part of group of students who wanted to study farming practice and the problems facing farmers in a village. Prepare a project report. So assume that you people are what? You are a student of some college. So you can do this among your friends. So who are interested in farming. Farmers are the backbones of our nation. So they are the backbones of our nation. So without farmers, we are nothing today. So if they are happy, the country will be happy. Everybody will be happy. So farming is a future of our country. So to make a question, design a questionnaire. So that how many of they are interested in farming? What is the problems that has been faced by the farmers? What are the problems that they can see? All those information has to be known. Moving forward, questionnaire. How to design a questionnaire? What is a questionnaire? A questionnaire is a series of questions that has to be asked to the customer, and these questions are typically a combination of closed-ended and open-ended questions. So in the previous classes I have discussed about the questionnaire. We have different questionnaire, different types of questionnaire. Kindly go back for the previous classes to understand more about the questionnaire. So what is questionnaire? It is nothing but the series of questions that has been put in order to ask the information from the customer. So different types of questionnaire: open-ended questionnaire and close-ended questionnaire. Close-ended questionnaire, it will not allow the customers to give their opinion. It is yes or no type question, MCQ question, that is close-ended. Open-ended, so it gives an opportunity for the customers to explain about their feelings, their importance. So there is no restrictions for the answering of the question. So long form of questions will be there. So moving forward, this is a sample of a questionnaire that I have put for you people. So kindly take up the screenshot for your reference and for your more understanding about the questionnaire. So how to make a questionnaire? As I have told you, know your question type: open-ended questionnaire or close-ended questionnaire. Close-ended questionnaire, yes, no type questions or MCQ questions. So what kind of questionnaire you would like to ask for the customers to avail the information. Keep it brief, simple, short question should be. So because people are not that friendly to understand the question and explain. So understanding the question also, it is up to their perception. So what they think, they write, they give the answer. So that might be not appropriate for our study. So that is why keep the question very brief. Choose a simple visual diagram. So diagrammatic representation always attracts. So diagrammatic is very important. Use a clear research process. So we have discussed the steps. So kindly follow that research process for your better understanding in developing the questionnaire. Create questions with straightforward and unbiased language. So no usage of jargons, technical words, IIP, WTO. So all these words should be what? Not include in your question. Keep it simple, keep it clear and crisp for better understanding of questions. Moving forward, ensure every question is important. Ask questions one by one. Order your question logically. So it should be logically kept. So one answer. So that answer should lead to the next other questions to be asked. Logically, it should be kept into. Consider your target audience. So while you're designing the questions, the audience should be considered. So we need not put the questions generally. We need to target the audience and then question. So you can go to COVID patients and ask about what are their symptoms. So it should be related to the target audience. It should not be generalized. So test your questionnaire. So before you take up those questionnaire directly to the field and take up the survey, test your questionnaire. Pilot study should be done before taking up the questionnaire. So you can understand what are the errors that is there in the questionnaire and you can rectify it before you give it to your target audience. Moving forward, these are the model questions. What are the main sources of your information about toothpaste? From where you have taken? This is nothing but your MCQ, multiple choice questions. Anything you can tick it. So it is closed-ended question. Are you prepared to try out a new toothpaste? Usually people will say no because they are very innovation things youths will take up, but when it comes to health and the safety, security, you people lag back because you people come back because that is very important for you people. Moving forward, if yes, then according to you, what should be the essential quality of a good toothpaste? So they are taking up the questions regarding the toothpaste. So let us conclude this. So what are the points that we have discussed in today's class? So first is the objective of the study should be clearly understood by the researcher first before understanding to other people, because he himself is the one who is trying to draw the conclusion for the question. The population and sample has to be chosen carefully. Why? Because large sample size if you take, or entire population if you consider, the time and the resources will not be sufficient. So the objective of survey will indicate the type of data to be used. So the first is to derive the objective. So based on the objective of the study, what kind of data you have to arrive, it will be very helpful for you people. A questionnaire interview schedule is prepared. It has to be prepared to collect the information, to collect the data. Collected data can be analyzed by using various statistical techniques called as measure of central tendency, correlation, index number. So results are interpreted to draw meaningful conclusions. So whatever the information that we have got, from that results can be concluded very easily. So you can interpret the result and then later you can generalize to the entire society. So that's it for today's class. Hope the class was very interesting, useful, and stay fit, stay healthy. Smile is the biggest jewel you can wear. Keep smiling, people. Thank you.